everybody, welcome back to Is It Kino, your favorite movie review podcast. I am your host, the Kino Corner, joined as always by my alter ego who lives inside my head, known as Venom.
Yeah, I'm Mumpky Jones. I am the dark side of the Kino Corner.
Now, Kino, did you know that Tom Hardy also provides the voice for Venom in the movie?
I figured as much.
Yeah, very talented actor, Tom Hardy. He played Bane, he played Venom. Who can't he play?
He was great as Bronson. I don't know if you saw that one.
Oh, I did see Bronson. I've seen that actually a few times. And
Yeah.
if I recall, the actual Bronson was shown the film, and he also enjoyed it.
Well, it was a good movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Tom Hardy's been good. He was in some of the older Star Trek movies, if I'm not mistaken. Well, not older Star Trek, but from like the mid-2000s, he was in a Star Trek film. He's been in a lot of stuff, but I always enjoy seeing him in films. Mad Max Fury Road, that was really good.
Yeah, if I was going to do a Mount Rushmore of modern-day Kino actors who I can always expect to bring in a good performance and to elevate the material, I would probably go, and two of them are in this movie, which is why I'm bringing it up. Of course, Tom Hardy. Woody Harrelson is always a Kino actor, and he's especially Kino in this film. I would also probably go with Sam Rockwell and Matthew McConaughey. You know, you gotta have the true detectives in there.
You know who I would also put in there, for just gonna add two more heads? I'd put in there Willem Dafoe and Oscar Isaac.
Oh yeah, I mean that's fair. I was gonna knock Oscar Isaac for being in the Disney sequel trilogy of Star Wars movies, because he could not save those. But I think if Sam Rockwell was in those, he could have saved them.
I don't think anyone could have saved those.
Sam Rockwell was in Iron Man 2, and he's the best part of the movie, so I know for a fact he could have easily been Poe Dameron.
But Iron Man 2 is not a good movie.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying Sam Rockwell saved the movie. It's the only redeeming quality of the entire film.
Well, speaking of that, speaking of bad movies, bad sequels, bad, superhero films.
I know you're not about to transition into Venom 2 with that, but go ahead.
I was going to say that Venom 2 is not as bad. It's actually, I was kind of pleasantly surprised by it.
Yeah, dare I say, this is one of my favorite films of the year. I genuinely had a smile on my face watching this film, and it's by far the best comedy of the year. I was laughing very hard. It's really
funny. And the thing is, it's 90 minutes, which was the perfect length for it. Yeah, it's
the rare sequel that is shorter than the original.
Yeah.
I'm glad that they had the restraint. Usually they try to double down and make that shit half an hour longer for no reason.
Look, in the last Kino, I think we both were complaining about how Shang-Chi was 2.5 fucking hours long.
Way too long.
Why does a cape shit film have to be 2.5 hours long? And the thing is that, yeah, it's 90 minutes and it feels very light on plot. Maybe some of the characters aren't that well fleshed out. But if they had made it 2.5 hours in a cape shit movie, they're not going to flesh them out really anymore. You're just going to be spending more time with them. And
I'm kind of offended you keep saying cape shit. I think that these Venom movies, and you haven't seen the first one, so you might not be, that's probably why you did not know really what was going on going into it. But these two Venom movies are made by people who are not making cape shit. They're making comedy films about like a mutant alien that takes over this crazy guy's body. I would not consider these to be cape shit, even though they might be shoehorned into that genre just to make more money.
Yeah.
But this is just a vehicle for Tom Hardy and Woody Harrelson to be fucking crazy. Like, as crazy as you can imagine an actor being in a movie. An A-list actor behaving in these ways on films should not be possible. And that's why I truly love these Venom movies. And I think that they're very special within this genre.
I think that Venom 2, I can't speak for Venom 1, but I think that Venom 2 is almost closer to a film like Rush Hour than it is to Avengers or something like that, because it is that
definitely.
kind of buddy. I mean, they're not cops, but they're kind of acting. They're solving a case, right? So
buddy vigilantes.
Yeah, but it is like a buddy cop film, where one of the characters happens to be an alien that is an asshole, and the other one is some sort of like guy that probably schizo posts on 4chan.org/x, you know?
And the reason why I wouldn't classify that as cape shit is that in cape shit, usually the best scenes are the big action set pieces or the stupid quips. The best scenes in this movie are just Tom Hardy in his apartment, and it's a huge, disgusting mess, and he has these tentacles coming out of his back, sloppily making himself breakfast, and there's chickens running around, and there's holes in the walls and the ceiling. Like, just the set of his apartment and him hanging out with Venom, I would watch that for 3 hours. I don't even need a plot.
Yeah, and I almost, like, not almost, but one of my feelings kind of leaving the movie was, like, I would have rather there not be an antagonist at all, and it's just about them living
I don't know.
together.
I don't know about that, because Woody Harrelson as the antagonist is a shining star in this film.
No, Woody Harrelson was pretty good. He plays
pretty good? Oh my god, he was fucking god tier in this movie. It was crazy.
Yeah, no, the thing is that I almost wish that there was more of him, because he's actually not in the film for all that much for that much time. But well,
who is when it's only 90 minutes?
That's true, and at that same time, I think I'd rather keep it at 90 minutes, which is a good comedy length. And you can also look at this movie as a sort of romantic comedy, right? Because it's about Eddie Brock getting over his ex, and it's about Woody Harrelson or Cletus, whatever his last name is, trying to reunite with his ex-girlfriend. It's about
and it's
romance.
about Venom. Venom and Eddie Brock come to terms with their love for each other.
Yeah, it's a bromance.
Yeah,
and
big
romance.
time.
Romantic comedy. That should be
That's right.
Yeah. And someone in my server a little earlier was saying that I guess some of those, like, you know, reactionary YouTubers that make several videos a day on, like, you know, how SJW Star Wars is ruining society and all that kind of stuff. I guess some people were reporting that this new Venom movie was gay. It's not.
What's gay about it?
Yeah.
At the end, when Venom tells Eddie that he loves him, like I don't think it's gay when you have a non-gendered, amorphic blob of slime. It's not really it. You can't be gay for a blob of slime. It's not a gender.
Yeah, and it's like you can love someone and also not be gay for them. You know, there's such thing as
look at us.
Yeah, exactly. We're very straight. We're super straight.
Yeah.
Stop writing those fan fictions.
When we have gay sex together, it's not homosexual at all. We're not doing it for the sexual gratification, but just because we enjoy each other's company. Yeah.
Yeah, it's an expression of romantic love.
That's right.
No, but I didn't get that angle, but their relationship, and actually knowing that Tom Hardy voices Venom, which I kind of figured as much because you can hear the similarities in their voice. But knowing that...
it's a top-tier performance that both Eddie Brock and Venom's voices do not sound like Tom Hardy's normal voice, and he's really going like 12 out of 10 on the acting scale of overacting both of these characters.
Oh, he's chewing the set big time.
Oh, yeah, and he's just nuts. Like, Tom Hardy is fucking nuts, and he just unleashes all of that in these movies. And you hadn't seen the first one, so I told you, okay, you don't need to watch it. Just go to YouTube and watch the lobster scene. What did you think of that?
I thought it was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and when I look at Rotten Tomatoes and I see that Venom 2 has a 58%, it makes me wonder if most of these critics don't know what movie they're watching. I assume a lot of these, high sophisticated critics who went to film school might not know that they're watching a comedy film. Maybe they bought into the whole cape shit of it.
It could
and
also
we're
be
expecting like an Avengers Endgame level operatic epic film that takes it.
Endgame is a CGI mess. This
movie is a CGI mess, but in a funny way.
Yeah, but I thought that this movie, for one, wasn't 3 hours long, and Avengers Endgame made me want to end myself in Minecraft when they said that's America's ass. I was right after Paul Rudd says that's America's ass while looking at Captain America's butt. I immediately looked up Rusty Cage's family-friendly noose song to learn how to tie a noose.
Oh, it's too bad that you didn't follow through.
No, but this is 90 minutes, and the jokes actually land. Like, everyone in the theater was laughing for the entire film. It seemed like everyone, not just me, but everyone was having a fun time actually watching it. Unlike a lot of the other Marvel Disney stuff where it just feels like, oh, we have this action scene and we don't want it to be too serious, so let's put these little quips in here to just lighten it up a little bit. And this felt more like that it was first and foremost a comedy with action scenes put in, which also makes... Yeah.
I was going to say, it's the type of film where, as I'm watching it, I can see the screenplay in my head, and I can envision the screenwriter just not giving a single shit. Especially in the climax of the film when he's confronting the bad guy for the final time.
Alert.
Yes. Well, who cares about spoilers for Venom 2? But the bad guy's like giving a speech. Oh, all I ever wanted was to have a friend, and I thought it could be you. And Venom says, "Fuck this guy," and he just bites his head off. Like, that's the level of not giving a shit that I respect and love, and I truly appreciate. Whereas when Joss Whedon is doing his script doctoring and he puts in his jokes, it's so try-hard and embarrassing that I do not enjoy it.
Yeah, and the ending to this is almost like the ending of The Dark Knight, where he's the... but it's almost a parody of the ending of The Dark Knight, It's like, I know they'll be looking for me, and then he just goes to chill out in Mexico.
Yeah, just on the beach.
Yeah.
Did you stay for the mid-credit scene?
Yeah, I did. Which means that they'll probably be putting Venom into the Spider-Man
The new
movie.
Spider-Man, yeah.
Yeah.
Which I'm fine with, because if the new Spider-Man movie's about all of the different Spider-Man cinematic universes coming together, and we have Doc Ock and Green Goblin showing up from the Sam Raimi films, why not throw in Tom Hardy's Venom? Why the fuck not?
Yeah.
Just let everybody show up for that movie. It's gonna be just a romp of crazy dimensional shenanigans, and I would love to see Tom Hardy's Venom really inserted into any movie.
Yeah, I mean, he's actually, like, his character's actually funny, unlike everyone in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. There's no funny characters in the MCU, and Tom Hardy... You know what, actually, I was thinking while watching the movie, right? Is you're seeing Tom Hardy just in his apartment talking to Venom, and I'm like, and Venom is there in some cases. I was thinking, man, on the set, he's literally acting off of no one. He's acting off of an imaginary friend, essentially. And he's having
it's a voice. It's literally, both in the context of the film and in real life, just a voice in his head.
Yeah, exactly. And that's actually, as an actor, that's actually hard to do, where you don't have another actor there giving you something.
Yeah, famously, Gandalf, behind the scenes of The Hobbit, was like weeping because the way that they film those movies, he can't be on set with the hobbits because he's way bigger than them. So he's like crying, "This is not why I signed up to be an actor." Shut up, you're making $10 million a minute, you old fuck.
the virgin Ian McKellen versus the Chad Tom Hardy.
Oh, yes, unironically, yes.
I know that's going to be blasphemy to some people.
I don't give a shit.
But
Tom Hardy played Bane. What the fuck did Ian McKellen do? Oh, I'm Gandalf. Shut up.
Oh, I'm an old man.
Yeah, oh, I'm old. I studied Shakespeare. I want to act off of the other act. Shut up. Just pretend.
Wow, you're able to... You did Hamlet? Yeah, only like a million other people did that too.
Oh, you did the thing that my middle school class did? Wow. Good job.
Name how many actors, like professional actors, have played as Venom.
How many professional actors could pull off what Tom Hardy is doing? I think any old man with a beard can say "You shall not pass." Most actors cannot pull off the absurdity of this character. This is true Sigma male acting.
I don't know why. You know what would be funny is if his character does get sort of portrayed, or it gets into the Sigma male canon, because he is now an incel. I guess he's technically a fake cell in this, which is cool. No GF, only male friends, or an alien friend that lives in his head. So
yeah, in a lot of ways, the film takes the standard tropes of any movie ever made, but it does reverse a lot of them and subvert your expectations. Like the whole idea of, oh, I have an ex who I'm obsessed with, but now she has a new man. Any other movie, you're gonna have like the new man, you're supposed to hate him and relate to Eddie Brock's character. Oh, fuck that guy. But in this movie, he's just pleasant and he's helpful and he like helps everybody and puts himself in harm's way. And there's really nothing wrong with the guy at all.
Yeah, and in fact, there's a lot wrong with Eddie Brock when he's like wanting to have, you know, this long-lasting relationship, yet he lives in this trashy apartment with fucking chickens running around the inside.
Yeah, and he's a madman.
And it's his alien symbiote that really wants her more than he does.
Yeah.
It's Venom who's more
that would make a lot more
infatuated.
sense, too. If you saw the original movie, you'd have a lot more context, but I think this film, you could just dive in and pretty much understand most of it.
And I do like that about this, in that I can watch this without having watched the first one. There's some references to the first one, and yeah, maybe, as you said, some context is missing. But I think that it is well encapsulated enough, and it's telling a single story about him reporting on Woody Harrelson's character, and then the sort of the consequences of that. And it does have a very sort of by the numbers kind of plot structure in a sense. You know, you can see where it's going and all that kind of stuff, but you know, so don't expect it to be like this. Wow, this is like a Paul Thomas Anderson film. You know, this is like There Will Be Blood.
Well, in a lot of ways, I appreciated how this film is more grounded and character focused than the original. The original movie ends with like they're like at a NASA space station with rockets going off, and it's like a huge epic action set piece. And usually for sequels, again, this one is shorter, which you never see. And this one is more focused on just the conflict between these two guys. And they just fight it out at a cathedral. There's no giant fucking rocket ship exploding in the air and all that stuff. They actually kind of made it less intense. And I think I like this movie even more for that.
I did too. You know, I think it's a breath of fresh air, honestly, that this film, the stakes are not like the world is gonna end. It's like there's this Bonnie and Clyde sort of, you know, but they have superpowers, you know, Carnage and, I don't know, the chick that screams. And isn't that such like a good superpower for a woman? She just screams.
I like that they don't even try to explain why she has a superpower. She just has it, and you just accept it because it's Venom 2. Who gives a shit?
And they don't, and everyone just tells her to shut up all the time.
Yeah.
They're like, shut up! And Carnage even hates her, and of course that's sort of, you know, it's also about how marriage kind of sucks for men, right? You know, like you get married and then things fall apart right after.
And then she won't shut the fuck up.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, it's a pretty good based film in that regard.
I was shocked at the end to find out that this was directed by Andy Serkis, who, if you don't know, like plays Gollum in Lord of the Rings, so he's clearly much better than Ian McKellen. I mean, Andy Serkis has played a million different CGI characters. I did not know he was a director, but if this is his directorial debut, I have no clue. But he did a great job.
He's done a couple other movies.
He did like a Jungle Book movie, right?
I think so. He's done. Yeah, he's gotten more into directing. He was also in Black Panther.
Yeah, he plays Claw.
Oh, and he was, of course, he is all the apes in the new Planet of the Apes movies.
Yeah, Caesar.
Yeah.
Well, I think clearly when it comes to a CGI monster movie, Andy Serkis is probably the right man to go to. And I was reading a little bit of an interview with him about the movie, and he's like, yeah, we made it 90 minutes. I just wanted it to be a high-octane thrill ride, and I know that gets thrown out a lot, but, I mean, there are no scraps. He just gives you the most raw version of this movie. He does not waste any of your time. There's no exposition, really. It's just the whole movie just starts, and it goes until the end, and it's really just a fun romp.
It's a forgotten art. Like, you have tons of movies that are like that from the 90s and the early 2000s. And I said on Twitter right before we started recording this podcast that Venom 2 is reminding me of the early 2000s superhero movies, like the X-Men, Spider-Man, like that sort of that stuff from in that it's campy, it's goofy, it's not trying to be like it's not trying to be super serious about anything. In fact, it's so anti-serious in everything that it does. And yeah, it's light on story. It's maybe light on character development and everything like that.
Good. Fuck those things. For this movie, I don't need any of that.
No, but it's still fun to watch. That's the thing. It's like those other superhero movies, they weren't trying to fit into some grand universe. They weren't trying to fit under some mold or be too overly like dark or anything like that. It's like when you watch those old X-Men movies or the first Spider-Man movie, like, go back and watch that first Spider-Man movie. Willem Dafoe just chews the set and is hilarious as a
He uses a bomb that turns people into skeletons.
Yeah, exactly. And, it's like, yeah, don't think too much about it. Like, it's fun to watch. It's funny. And it doesn't overstay its welcome.
Will you be viewing Venom 1 after viewing Venom 2?
I don't know.
Oh, not good enough to go see the original? I'd say it's comparable. It's just about as good.
Yeah, I mean, maybe at some point. I don't know. I'm just super busy right now.
Too busy to watch Venom?
I'm slaving away on a video for the Gamer from Mars, so
okay.
Yeah, I don't have time to watch any movies right now, but I might go back and watch Venom because it's pretty easy to get right now, so I might go back and watch it at some point.
Much like this film, I don't think we should ramble on longer than we need to. So before we do our final judgments, do you have any final thoughts about the film?
Yeah, and also because we're only 23 minutes in, before we do the final thoughts about the film, my Discord server decided to.
We can do that after we finish talking about Venom.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we'll do that after. Yeah, so my final thoughts about the film are that it's a tight film. It doesn't really have any fat in it. It's a fun sort of buddy comedy with some action in it. Yeah, the action doesn't have a whole lot of tension to it because it's a superhero movie. You know that the good guys are going to win. But at the same time, I think that Tom Hardy's performance and his comedic performance, slapstick comedic performance, is just really fun to watch. And Woody Harrelson just really chews the set as a serial killer turned, supervillain. And it's just everyone seemed to have fun on that set, and it just is like a movie of a whole bunch of goofballs, making a film about goofing around, and it's a fun time. It's a fun time. Should you go see it in the theaters? I mean, that's up to you. But I didn't feel like I had wasted my time watching it.
I am going to have to back you up on that, and I'll add that this film features a level of dark comedy that actual Marvel, like MCU Marvel, would never have the balls to go for. There's a whole backstory to Woody Harrelson's character that is shown in some pretty cool animation about how when he was a child, he pushed his grandmother down the stairs and threw like a toaster in his mom's bathtub to kill her, and it's like just all this dark stuff. Venom's always trying to literally murder people and eat their heads and shit. The kind of stuff you would not find in other cape shit, you'll find here, and I just especially find that kind of stuff funny, especially in the way that they presented it. And again, Woody Harrelson and Tom Hardy give just some of the best performances of their careers. And if you like them, you're going to love this.
I also want to point out the psychiatrist in that like top secret facility is such a bitch. And she's just like playing it up like she wants to be Nurse Ratched on steroids. The one that gets...
Yeah, and that character has maybe 3 lines of dialogue, but they... Yeah. She is as developed as the black lady from Suicide Squad, who is pretty much the same type of character. Yeah. But they didn't need to waste my time. Like I understood what kind of character she was, and then when she gets strangled to death by Carnage, it's very satisfying.
Yeah, exactly. And then that kind of makes you like Carnage. You're like, oh, good, finally.
I liked every character.
Yes.
So yeah, we both agree this is some Cape Shit Kino.
Yeah, this is Cape Shit Kino. It's definitely the thing is that it's such a breath of fresh air from the stuff that you're getting from MCU, in that, as you said, it's willing to go darker, and say fuck, actually, like that they won't do in the MCU. But it's willing to go darker, make darker jokes, actually have characters die on screen, and in as brutal a way as I think that they can get away with a PG-13, and it doesn't overstay its welcome.
Yeah, so that's a double recommendation.
Yeah, I'd say it's a recommendation.
Okay, Kino, what is this about your Discord?
Okay,
up to some shenanigans?
Yeah, my Discord is always up to some shenanigans. And recently, my Discord, I think, merged with yours. Pretty much everyone from yours went into mine. So, so maybe some of the autism can stay out of yours.
Yeah, my apologies for that.
Yeah,
I tried to contain their autistic energy in one place, but I guess there's a crack or something.
So, okay, so they have movie ideas that they think that you and I should make. And
oh boy,
so I'm just gonna go through. I have a list here, I'm gonna go through and I want to see what you think of them. I won't say who came up with the ideas.
Okay.
Just
I'm guessing it was Heartsy Protsy.
Heartsy did not join, but just about everyone else did. Yeah, Heartsy, he's holding out.
So
on me.
Toot, did Toot want us to make a movie saying the N-word for 2 hours?
Well, if you say that, you're gonna give Toot some, an idea.
I don't need to give her that idea. I'm pretty sure it's already in her head.
Okay, so this was the first one. He says, organized crime movie called The Trash Rats, where Mumkey, Rusty, and Reactor are all gay crime bosses that do cocaine and fuck each other in the ass.
Where do you come in? And I don't mean in my ass. Are you playing the rival mafia boss who
I don't know.
Super hetero, and you're trying
I guess
to
they don't come
take
in.
down heterosexual mobs?
I guess I get cut out, or maybe I'm the director.
Well, it's like a West Side Story. You got the 2 rival gangs, and I think we'll be the Trash Rats or the gay gang, and you're the head of the hetero gang, and we want to take out all the heteros.
Yeah, and I'll be the hetero gang alongside Heartsy and Eggy.
Okay, yeah, I think we could probably do that. I'm going to give that one a Mumkey seal of approval.
Okay, so here's the next one. Buck breaking, but the roles are reversed, and it's in Wakanda.
You think Wakanda has a secret history of white slavery? I could see that being a thing, because like the European slavers back in the 1619, they came over to Africa and kidnapped all those poor black people. What if the Wakandans kidnapped the slave traders before they could take off on their ships and made them be slaves?
Yeah, and they're mining unobtainium or whatever it is that they get.
Yeah. What is that shit?
I forget. Some made up.
Vibranium.
Vibranium.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah, that would be good.
But these are movies that they think we can make. We can't make that.
Yeah, we can't make that. Yeah,
that's a terrible idea.
I'd say it's an interesting idea overall, but
maybe somebody should just draw that as a 20-page comic, but we probably cannot film that.
Yeah, Rusty should make that comic. I think that would sell well with his audience.
I think he's busy not making his own comic.
think he's busy not uploading.
Yeah. Hey man, a 19-page comic, it does take 2 years to make that, okay? Forget about One Piece that releases 17 pages a week for the last 24 years. Clearly that's impossible.
It's very impossible. Have you
it's very hard.
Have you seen how fast Rusty works?
Yes. In person I have.
Yeah, me too. All right, so movie about abusing drugs, and the soundtrack is made up mostly of death grips. Eventually, the main character develops schizophrenia and goes on a mass shooting spree. That just
sounds like most of these are just excuses for us to buy actual cocaine and do it.
Yeah.
Have you done cocaine before? You've been in Hollywood films. What's the scene like over there?
I've seen people do cocaine, but I've never done it.
What's the hardest drug you've done?
Marijuana.
That's some pussy shit.
Yeah.
How the fuck you gonna be in Hollywood movies and not try cocaine once? I thought that was a requirement to join the Actors Guild.
I don't know. I just I'm a little bit of a nerd.
You wouldn't do it if you knew it was like pure shit. There's no baking soda in it, and you're like in a safe place and you're home alone. You wouldn't try it.
I mean, if I was home alone and there wasn't any sort of social pressure for me to do it, I wouldn't do it. But
you wouldn't just want to experience it and see what all the buzz is about?
You know, I've had friends who've done it, and they told me that it's not that, like, that they didn't really care for it that much. I don't know, that the high doesn't last, like, but 10 minutes or something like that, and then it's like, okay, you just kind of get super energized for, like, 10 minutes, and then it's over.
Yeah, from what I understand, the reason why cocaine's a bad deal is because, the high doesn't last very long, and then you have to do more and more of it just to hit the same level of high, and then that's how you fuck up your nasal cavity because you're snorting fucking pounds of this toxic chemical through your system. Yeah, probably not the smartest drug to do.
Yeah, and it's also super expensive, so it's like, wow, I'm gonna pay like $200 to like get high for 10 minutes.
But what if the Coca-Cola company went back to formula, much like Willem Dafoe, and started putting cocaine in the Coke again? Would you drink it? I absolutely would.
Yeah, I would probably drink it to try it.
Yeah, so if you got fresh cocaine right now, you wouldn't mix that into your Diet Coke and take a swig?
I don't know. I think mixing it into the Coke and taking a swig would give me a different reaction than just like snorting it and having it go straight into my bloodstream.
Yeah.
You know, like I think it would probably act a bit more like caffeine. I'm not a drug expert or anything like that, but you know, it takes time when it goes to your stomach through the vector of soda to get into your system.
Well, if we go back to this movie idea, what was the pitch that we do drugs and get schizophrenic? What if it's about two businessmen who realize that the market for cocaine mixed beverages is untapped, and maybe they start a lemonade stand with a secret ingredient being cocaine, and that can launch the plot of the film.
What if it's about two sadistic businessmen who put AIDS in Coca-Cola?
AIDS? Why not just put the cocaine in baby formula so we can addict them while they're newborns?
Yeah, and that's how you become a totalitarian regime, is that you get them addicted to your drug through their baby formula. And then when we become rich, you can go full American Psycho. Exactly. Yeah, I think that's a better. So let's go to the next one. So this one's a meme answer. Salad 2 or the 120 Days of Buck Breaking.
I think we already covered that one.
Yeah. So then another one. This is a little bit more interesting. Now I will say who this is from because you recognize this, and the other people you recognize too. But this is from Cokehead Tortoise.
Good.
And he suggests this, and I think this one might be good. Two humble Chinese farmers, portrayed by Mumkey and Kino, make their quest through the rice fields, across the Great Wall, and into the Forbidden City to free the omnipotent Buddha, Eggy, from the clutches of a despicable dictator, Justin Kim.
Okay, that's a very high concept film.
Yeah. Eggy as Buddha, that sounds pretty good. And we'd have to be doing Yellowface the whole time.
Well, as long as Robel gives us permission, I think we can get away with it.
You know what we'd be like? We'd be like Cartman and Butters in that episode of South Park when they go to P.F. Chang's to learn about the Chinese invasion plans.
Isn't that canon in South Park that the owner of the Chinese restaurant is just a white guy pretending to be Asian?
Oh, yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything that has to do with me pretending to be a different race, I don't know if that's a movie I want to make. Now, if we're making Rusty do his blackface routine, that's a different story.
Oh, yeah. I think Rusty's blackface routine comes into a future idea.
There's a surprisingly high number of photos of Rusty in blackface. I thought it was just the one time, and now I'm getting really concerned that he has not learned his lesson and he keeps doing it. Why are there multiple instances of this happening? And people probably think we're having a lark, but it's true.
It's true.
Go look at my fucking Discord server. They keep posting it.
That's all they post. Every time Rusty's brought up, people just post his blackface photos.
It's probably an emote at this point.
Yeah, it probably is. So let me go to the next one. This is from Toot. Mumkey Jones stops a school shooting 2. Heartsy and Vincent seek vengeance. Wait a sec. Heartsy brings Vincent the Atheist back from the dead to assist him in getting revenge on the Chads and Stacys who rejected him because of his height.
Okay.
All right.
I feel like, I don't want to tread over the same ground over and over again, and I feel like I've been doing school shooter content for a good 5 years.
I think, yeah. I think that we have to move on from that. Oh, here's this. So this one actually kind of developed into some more stuff. A remake of The Elephant Man. Have you seen that movie?
Yeah, with the guy who's all fucked up and ugly.
But it's Wings of Redemption.
I don't know if Wings would be on board with that.
Yeah. And I said Blood Meridian with Wings as the judge.
It could be the Wendy's Chili Man, and it's just, we could just film a 600-pound life documentary about him.
Of course, some people were bringing up, Saint Heartsy Protsy, or what's his username here, Michael Dorman. I don't know what his name is. I accidentally did Blackface, the new Rusty Cage song.
Well, that's just inaccurate. It was no accident. You can tell he carefully applied that makeup for a very specific look. I don't think it was a mistake.
I don't think it was a mistake either. Let me see.
Maybe the first time you accidentally wore blackface, but the second, third, and fourth time, that's no accident.
Cokehead Tortoise also proposes do a remake of Bohemian Rhapsody, but have Rusty as the aging musician with terrible teeth.
That's just the Rusty Cage YouTube channel.
Yeah, whenever he uploads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many more of these are there? Because I don't know if we're gonna make any of these yet.
Well, most of those were from your audience, and that was...
Yeah, that's why I knew they would be bad.
Yeah. Cole Williams says The Life of a Jewish Pirate.
So it's a movie about you with your eye patch?
Yeah, it is a movie about me with my eye patch. And then they kind of just sort of devolved into saying, Kino, you should make YouTube poop because M. Fleming doesn't make YouTube poops anymore. And
if people want to watch YouTube poops, there are over 500,000 of them from the last 2 decades you can go watch. I don't know if we need to make any new ones.
Yeah.
There's plenty.
Someone said Blade Runner, but in Detroit.
Are there any movie ideas we could actually feasibly create?
No, none of these people are thinking on the terms that we need to think on. They're not thinking like...
They're just trying to meme.
Yeah, they're just trying to meme. Now, Okay, so I do think, and now I just want to sort of, maybe get some people thinking, right? Get the noggin jogging here. Get it...
Activate some almonds.
Activate some almonds. I did have this... I did kind of shoot you the one idea in DMs. But I do think that I don't know if you want me to say the idea that you were going to bring up on Trash Rats, but I'll have you save that for Trash Rats. I won't bring that up here. But I do have an idea of that I shot over to you maybe last week or something. It came up. It's not formed. It's not some sort of like, something I've really thought about that much, or have really sort of hashed out. But the idea of like doing almost like The Village, the M. Night Shyamalan, The Village. I mean, not as gay, but this community, this town, and just having it's a small town America, wherever. I mean, it could be anywhere, and only having a few characters in it, and having this, but sort of just doing a lot of world building with it, and having it where people all in this town all have this degenerative, brain disease, right? Because I don't know, for some reason, right? This chemical spill or something, or some sort of like passed down genetically. I think that actually keeping it, not explaining it a whole lot, but just explaining what's necessary would actually be better. And they have to take this medicine each day to stave off their brain degeneration. And in this town, when someone like breaks the law, how they are punished is by having their meds taken away. Like, they get like a daily pill or something like that, right? And so you become crazier. And what happens is our protagonist, and you can tell I've been reading a lot of sort of absurdist and existentialist literature recently, but our protagonist, for some reason, is told that he'll no longer be receiving this pill. So he's, bound to be crazy. And when they get to a certain point in craziness, they are sent over to an asylum where, they're kind of put away from society until they eventually die.
If I could just elaborate on that so far.
Yeah.
Something you could do, and to go back to what we were saying about putting cocaine in baby formula, it could be that the government decided the best way to, the opium of the masses could be actual opium, and it's a government mandate from birth. Like, you take like your heroin pill every day, so newborn babies, everybody in America is instantly addicted to whatever drug of choice, and then you can still do the punishment is you're desperate for this drug every day, and the government's not going to give it to you if you are low on your social credit score.
I think it would actually be better, because like the whole thing is, right, it's almost like it's normal in these kinds of scenarios where it's like you stop taking your pill and then all of a sudden you see the world how it is, and you become more clear. And I think they would actually be better if he does actually go insane and he does have this degenerative brain disease, but it is something that is essentially put into them from birth, or it's some
maybe
sort
it could be some form of radiation.
Yeah, like there's some sort of like genetic modification going on. You know what I mean? And that could be it, is that there's genetic modification of the people going on to essentially keep them, as good little worker bees and we could have that explained through contextual stuff and through, I wouldn't want to have like, all this Christopher Nolan levels of exposition where, he's just like telling you the entire backstory in the film. It'd be more like, okay, we kind of can see this in the background, or maybe this happens. And I think that the film would be about him discovering some of this because he's trying to appeal, and get some, and it'd be sort of a mystery in the sense of he's trying to figure out why he no longer can take the pills, and he doesn't know why. And it's a Kafka-esque story, kind of like The Trial, how he's like sentenced to death. It's been a few years since I've read The Trial, but how he's like sentenced to death and he doesn't know why, or he's sentenced to prison. and it'd be a similar case, but he's going crazier as the film is progressing. So with the more he sort of maybe figures out about the truth behind it, it also becomes less like you can really trust his judgment because it's from his perspective.
So is this movie a metaphor for your life where the masses are addicted to these Marvel movies and you're the one guy who's like, guys, these movies are fucking dog shit. What do you guys see in this? Am I crazy? Why am I the only one who enjoys Sallow? That's a real film. What is going on?
And then I just go Joker mode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You showed them how a real movie is made.
And I think that it's, he would have to have his Joker moment and the thing. Like, maybe he starts stealing pills from other people. He gets into some scraps. He gets into some little adventures along the way. And the thing, but it's all with a very minimal cast in one small setting. And just, having the film propped up by its writing and not having any kind of special effects or anything like that, having his degeneration shown through acting. And of course, when he eventually goes to the asylum at the end, Emp Lemon will be in the corner going, downward spiral, downward spiral.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, and that's going to be the fan service there, is Emp Lemon saying downward spiral in the corner of the asylum, the 12 Monkeys moment.
And what would the budget for this film be?
Look, all what we have to do is go out to some middle of nowhere town in the Midwest.
So all of Iowa.
Yeah, all of Iowa. We could shoot it in Iowa. We go to some middle of nowhere town. I already have a lot of the equipment, sound equipment, things like that. I'd probably have to buy a couple more lav mics, but and we just cast. We could honestly make this for less than $10,000. Honestly, that's me. We could do it. Shooting it a lot within his house or around a small town. When you're shooting in a small town like that, nobody cares. It's not like in LA where you have to get a permit for absolutely everything, and every business charges you like $3,000 a day to shoot there.
Yeah, I like the idea of making a no-budget feature film, but I don't know if this is the sexiest premise that I really want to latch on to. It would have to, like the writing, like the script would have to really be something special, because just the premise alone, I don't know if that's really going to get butts in seats.
I mean, yeah, I think that it would just be about like trying to, like, this definitely is a story this definitely is an idea that's more about the character than it is about the story. And it'd be about creating a really compelling character and showing a very good arc of him going insane as he's also reaching a point of clarity about, the state of society. But it's, with him at the end being some blithering schizophrenic on the street, ranting about, whatever fucking conspiracy theories, and nobody believes him. You know what I mean? Like, and I kind of also like that idea that it's just like that this clarity and insanity come at the same time. But yeah,
we could just make the movie about you not liking Marvel. It's basically the same thing.
Yeah, it is just or we, who we could cast as the main character in that?
You.
Or Reactor.
I guess he is living that life already.
Yeah.
He has had his third eye awoken.
It's just a documentary about Reactor. We're just
now that is a good idea. Just a genuine, heartfelt, sentimental documentary about Reactor's life. I would watch that for sure.
I would watch it too. And then, it just ends with him making these like family vlog style stuff with Tim Pool.
No, that's not the ending. We are in the early chapters of Reactor's story. There is still a lot more to tell.
Oh yeah, that's true. We
got to see how he helps Trump get reelected in 2024.
Reactor is probably Q.
Well, he did just have Steve Bannon at his house as a guest, so there are any number of possibilities in his future.
Yeah. Wow. I would love to hear the conversation between him and Steve Bannon.
He posted a vlog of it. It exists. Yeah.
Wait, what's his channel?
I think it's called Cast Castle or something. I don't watch it, but I know of it.
Okay, yeah, because
he vlogged with Steve Bannon the other day. That was fucking weird.
He has more subs on Cast Castle.
Well, that's not his channel. It's Tim's channel.
Yeah, it's Tim's channel, but he's making the videos on it.
Well, so I could have Heartsy make a video and post it on my channel. That doesn't mean Heartsy has 170,000 followers.
Yeah, that's true.
Anyway, we've talked more about not Venom than Venom, so maybe we should wrap this one up.
Yeah, I think we'll wrap it up here.
Kino, you just had a new video about Come and See, historically relevant movie about Russians getting killed by Nazis. Very dark material. And your video, you know, I was very proud of you. You were able to take a serious subject from history, and you did not make any Nazi jokes. You didn't dress up like Hitler and interview people on the street. You actually made a pretty good video.
Yeah, I was actually, this is like the one video where I was really trying not to come across as too humorous in anything, because I'm like, just the subject matter was a bit too heavy to do that. But
the idea of 200 people being forced into a barn that is set on fire and then Nazis surround it and shoot it with machine guns, the fact that actually happened is one of the darkest things I can imagine. How, you said 6 people survived? How?
Yeah.
How?
Yeah,
how the fuck do you survive that?
Yeah, so I was watching these documentaries on it, reading some stuff about it. And one of the people, I believe they got, like, some of the people, they got shot. Some of the people, they got burned. They were assumed dead. They were in, like, the mass graves, but they survived.
Fuck that.
Yeah. So the people, I mean, they barely survived. And I think that some of the people, because what I didn't bring up in the video, because I honestly wanted people to see Come and See to get more of an impact, you know, from this part, is that when they bring the people into the barn and they're about to set it on fire, what they tell them is that we'll let you live, like anyone here can leave, but you have to leave your kids inside.
That's a real Sophie's Choice, huh?
So some people, I believe, did, like 1 or 2 people or something like that, did leave the barn and leave their kids inside. And there's a video of one of those people, and it's just like, it haunted him for the rest of his life. I mean, obviously. You know, if I was in that situation, I would straight up tell my parents, you can go. I'm not going to be the selfish kid who says, no, Mom and Dad, you have to burn to death with me. Oh, fuck it. You guys can go. Get the hell out of here. Yeah, I mean, it's just a terrible situation overall. And, you know, people, they love to talk about the Holocaust and stuff, you know, as far as...
Oh, you do?
Goes. Yeah. I mean, I talked about it with Florian on my KinoCast channel.
I did listen to that.
And, but what people don't talk about as much is the genocide of the Belarusians. 2.2 million Belarusians died, which was almost a quarter of the entire nation's population, which is insane to think about.
And I've seen there's a lot of genocide deniers in your comments section trying to roast you.
On Odyssey.
What the fuck is that?
It's a YouTube alternative. So that's
where all the Holocaust deniers go to post their comments?
Yeah, so when I upload to YouTube, it automatically uploads to my Odyssey as well. Because I want to have like a backup archive in case something goes down or something like that. I want to have it somewhere else where people can still watch it. But unfortunately, a person with a swastika profile picture was roasting me. I guess denying the Holocaust and denying the Belarusian genocide, and
which is weird to me, because if you're going to be a Nazi in the modern day, wouldn't you be proud of their exploits and not trying to say that they didn't happen?
Yeah,
if you're
exactly.
saying I'm a proud Nazi, but the Holocaust didn't happen, then what are you so proud of?
Yeah, like I'm a
The train's running on time?
I'm a proud Nazi, but we literally failed at everything, and we
Yeah.
didn't do any of the things that we say that we like. It's
Yeah,
like,
but what the fuck are you so proud of? I thought that a modern day Nazi would worship the Holocaust. They wouldn't deny it, right?
I don't know, man. It doesn't make that much sense to me, you know. But then again, I'm not a Nazi, so maybe I just don't understand their way of
not
thinking. Yeah, just wait until I don't take my pills.
Yeah, just wait until we review Triumph of the Will. You might get converted.
Yeah, if we review Triumph of the Will, I'm going to be talking about Star Wars the whole time. Because, you know that the ending is the first Star Wars movie was inspired by Triumph of the Will.
Good.
Yeah, yeah. It's Kino.
I mean, Walt Disney probably funded Triumph of the Will, to be honest.
He was a good American. I don't think he would have done that.
Anyway, folks, we will be back next week with a James Bond review, I believe. Is that coming out next week?
Yeah, I'm planning to see it next week, so yeah.
Okay. So we'll see you then, and I'll post a link to Kino's new video in the description.